If you're an adult with a job, limited time, and no interest in complicated gear, I think there's one bike that makes more sense than anything else you can buy. And that's not a mountain bike, not a road bike, not even an e-bike. But I think every adult should own a gravel bike. I know we just bought the Redline monocog, but it's officially new bike day again. This is the Marin Nicasio Plus. Let me tell you how I ended up with this bike. I went into the bike shop trying to make sure all that stuff worked that Shimano sent me for the Ozark Trail Fast Flow. And I saw this on the floor and I said, I gotta have that. I've always wanted a gravel bike that I could commute on, but also be able to ride through some rough terrain. This has thicker tires, but it also has that low tread down the middle so you can still pedal with efficiency while still having those capabilities of a gravel bike. I saw this bike and it was only $800 and I didn't really want to spend that money, but when I saw this I said I gotta have it. I don't have the money to spend like that right now, but I know this will serve me well in the long term. Now I know a lot of you might have your hesitance about gravel bikes, particularly drop bar bikes, but I'm telling you, I think every adult should own a bike like this. It really pushes your endurance. It puts you in a position that makes you want to ride, makes you want to pedal. And it's just fun, honestly. I will admit, if I had to choose one bike, it would be a gravel bike. I've said that time and time again. I know a lot of people like flat bars. I like flat bars as well, but there's just something about a nice drop bar gravel bike that just makes riding that much more fun. And I've noticed this bike is a 52, a size 52. I usually ride a 54, but lately they've been feeling big. And that's why I sold the gravel bikes that I had. They didn't really fit me the way I wanted. So when I hopped on this one fit perfectly. I'm telling you, if you want to look into a gravel bike, make sure it fits really well. Because if you get a gravel bike that fits well, you'll fall in love instantly, in my opinion. It's just something about grabbing a bike, going out the front door, no thought whatsoever, and just riding the bike. With the mountain bikes, you gotta go to a trail, figure out what trail you wanna ride, all kinds of stuff. With this, put your helmet on, open the front door, take off. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most adults don't stop riding bikes because they're out of shape. They stop riding because it gets too complicated. Complicated bikes, complicated setup, just too many complicated decisions just to go ride. And the moment something requires planning, most adults don't go ride. But gravel bikes, they remove almost all of that friction. One of the most underrated things about gravel bikes is how unintimidating they are. There's no learning curve, no getting into the discipline, and no special skills. If you know how to ride a bike, you already know how to ride a gravel bike. That matters more than people realize because adults don't want to feel like beginners again. Gravel bikes are simple, and that's their superpower. No suspension setup, fewer moving parts, easier maintenance, and easier storage. This is the kind of bike you can lean against a wall, hang up in an apartment, or toss in the back of the car without even thinking about it. At this stage in life, simple beats impressive every time, in my opinion. This might be the biggest reason gravel bikes work so well for adults. The pedaling position is almost perfect. Upright enough that your neck and back don't hate you. forward enough that you can actually generate power, you don't feel folded up, and you don't feel inefficient. This is the position your body naturally wants to pedal in. Here's what I love most about gravel bikes. You're not working out. You're just going somewhere, clearing your head, exploring. The fitness is just a side effect, not the goal. And that's how adults stay active long term. Gravel bikes really solve the I don't have time problem. When a bike is easy to use, 20 minutes feels worth it. You don't need a destination. You don't need to drive somewhere. You don't need a full kit of gear and everything. Consistency beats intensity, and gravel bikes makes consistency effortless. The bike industry loves extremes. More suspension, more tech, more cost. Gravel bikes quietly do something better. They fit real life. They don't ask much from you, and because of that, you ride more. If every adult owned one bike they could ride anywhere at any time without planning, we'd all be riding more. That's why I think every adult should own a gravel bike. Not because it's exciting, but because it actually works. I think this is a Polygon. Yep. That was a T6, I think? T7 maybe? Whatever the neon color is.